Hey, it's Russ Mitchell with Winged Saber Historical Fencing. I'm off on another one of the little rants. Don't worry, there won't be too many of them, but some of these things are important for finding out if we're the kind of people you want to hang out with, or if you'd rather go to a different group of people that is a better use of your time. And everybody's a waste of time for somebody. Find your crowd, find your people you fit with. Today's rant is about recovery. I push 50 years old starting next month. And I cannot tell you how many really tough guys I've known, especially starting in the 20s, who can't train now because they're too busted up to do it. And I have done casual training where it was a half hour a week, get a technique, go away, work on it for homework, especially when doing internal martial arts. I've been on what some people call the badass plan, doing 4 to 6 hours of heavy training every single day. It's nice when you're single, not so good for when you're married. In all that training, over 20 some years, the people who have lasted and continued to grow are people who have added some sort of active recovery into their mix. When you are training, you are working the hell out of your body, and you are going to start accumulating aches and pains and wears and tears. And if you do nothing about it, it's going to slowly get harder and harder to train. Instead of bopping in all excited and ready to go, you'll find yourself dragging. Everybody who's worked double shifts knows exactly what it's like to come in going, oh, I have to be high performance, and now my tail is dragging on the ground behind me. Well, every time you take a hit, physical or emotional, your nervous system doesn't distinguish between the two, you tighten up. The more you get tight, the less you're able to move effectively, the more you get compensations. So for example, if I've been weightlifting really hard and I'm tight through the hips, I'm putting strain on my knees. And if I'm not aware of that, I can really do a number to my knees one day when I'm grappling or when I'm crashing and bashing with my friends. You gotta do something to relieve that. It's also especially important for beginners because very often your coach or instructor is gonna tell you something and you're not gonna understand what they're saying. You'll understand every word in that sentence, but not how to perform what they're actually asking you to perform. And 6 months later, you go back and go, oh, hey, I figured it out. It's like this. And they'll be like, yeah, that's what I told you 6 months ago. Frustrating, isn't it? There are more martial art jokes about that than even the kung fu flicks where you have to go do a training montage in the woods before avenging your kindly old master. The reason it happens is that when you're a beginner, you've got all the drive you could possibly want, but your coordination is poor. It's hard to have a felt sense of what somebody is asking you to perform. By engaging in active recovery, whether it's yoga, whether it's Feldenkrais method work like I do, whether it's just taking a long walk or getting a massage or floating in a float tank, all of which are fine options, but something where you're not pushing yourself hard for strength and instead unkinking all those tight spots, you're helping yourself soften up and you're helping yourself get more in tune with what you're doing with your body. And building that coordination is what will take you from the my face equals despair level of training, where someone asks you to put your hand here and your elbow here and your body's going to turn here and then you step and then you're going to do what with your wrists? To, oh, this is just a single gesture that happens to express itself in several limbs simultaneously. That coordination will not come if you're not taking steps to take care of your body. Instead, you're going to wind up hurting. And the more you hurt, the more your amygdala is going to put you on lockdown. It's going to literally short circuit your prefrontal cortex and make learning difficult because this part of your brain goes, hey, Tommy don't know what Tommy's doing. I'm tightening up because I got to protect these joints or we're done for. So schedule something in. It can be seated meditation. I knew a guy out in California who advised an hour of seated meditation per training day. Now, that was for us who were training 6 hours a day. It's a little extreme if you're doing 20 minutes, obviously. But figure out what the time it is. Figure out enough time to get with your body, even if it's just wiggling your joints in the bed every morning before you get up to make sure where all your parts are and what you're doing with yourself, so that you build that sense of what you're doing with your body and you build that sense of being able to tell, hey, am I about to run off the rails? Do I need to take tonight's training a little bit light because I don't have muscle stiffness, I have joint pain instead. If you want to have a long, happy career in martial arts, you need this ability. Your muscles will recover. Your tendons will recover. The blood supply to your ligaments is terrible. You damage your ligaments, they don't recover for squat. You can get surgery and bind them up, and they'll halfway recover, and you can do stuff to stabilize it. And if you blow all of that off, you are welcome to join the ranks of the people who are unloading their gear because they've hit their late 30s or early 40s and it just hurts too much to train anymore. At our school, we are laser focused on avoiding that. And if you are starting up a new school on your own or a group of friends using the material we're putting online for you, please, please, please learn from my example. Make active recovery a part of your program. As my dad likes to say, the problem with the School of Hard Knocks is that first you take the exam and then you learn the lesson. Happy training. We've got more videos and content coming, so if you liked what you saw and it was useful for you, please stab the like button, /subscribe, and punch the little bell icon so that you're notified immediately when new content comes available. Thanks, and go do the thing.